What's up, everybody? It's your boy Stevie the Black. It's STEVEE the Black. I'm back, and it's time. It's finally time. I'm here to give you my WrestleMania 38 What If I was Vince McMahon and I was booking WrestleMania 38, how would I have booked it? And the question of the day is obvious. Which WrestleMania would you have rather watched? Would you have rather watched the WrestleMania that we got, which was a very good show, very good, very fun show? I believe I gave it a B plus. Or would you have rather watched my show? Let me know in the comment section down below. Now, let's get straight into it. Starting off, I would have had the New Day taking on the Street Profits, taking on the Usos. Plain and simple. This is just who is the best tag team on Monday Night Raw. We could even, instead of unifying the WWE and Universal Championship, we're going to unify the Raw and Tag Team Championships. Because I believe that while the World Championships need to be separate and the Women's Champions need to be separate, I believe you can unify the tag team division. We have so many tag teams available in WWE nowadays, you wouldn't really even notice it. So, I think one superior team says a lot when you have great tag teams in the WWE nowadays. So, that's my first match. My second match, actually, I would have had Omos win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I know that's not appealing, and we don't really care about the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, but we need to take our time with Omos. We need to give him time, and what better way to start him off than by winning especially since WWE's been building him up as this monster, right? Like, what better way? And he was on a win streak until he lost to Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania, which to me didn't make no sense. Which, storyline-wise, now I see where they're going with MVP, teaming him up with MVP. But imagine if he's like, you know what? I've taken on one challenger, I've taken on two challengers, I've taken on three challengers, I've beaten them all. So now I'm out telling everyone to come at me, and I will beat everybody in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal to prove that I'm a better giant than even Andre himself. That's a good statement. It gets everyone hyped up and like, I wonder if he'll actually win it. And he does. Next, I have Rey Mysterio taking on Dominic. Now, Rey's not turning heel, and neither is Dominic. Not yet. I believe Dominic is teaming with his father, obviously, for him to teach him the ways and the ropes of the WWE. And I believe that's a good thing. But, because, he's still learning. But I also believe that him going to his dad and saying, you know what, Dad, we've done a lot together. We've teamed together. We've been tag team champions together. The first father-son tag team champions in the WWE. But I think I need to go out. In order for me to become the best WWE superstar I can be, I need to go at this on my own. And so I challenge, you taught me a lot of things. I learned a lot from you. I learned a lot from Eddie when I was younger. I've learned a lot from all the great mentors here in WWE. But I challenge you to a match at WrestleMania. Now, you can have this go either way. You can have Rey win or you can have Dominic win. I think Rey needs to win to show his son, like, yeah, you've come a long way since you debuted at SummerSlam all those years ago. But you still got a little bit to learn, son. You still got a little bit to learn. You can bring him in for a hug, and then that's when you can have Dominic turn on him, and he'll be the heel. Now, dude's got a baby face just like me. So I don't know if it will really work that way, but it'll be interesting to see. I think it's a fun experiment that you should try. So I would totally be down for that. Next up, I would have had Edge taking on Kevin Owens in a match at WrestleMania. I know he had his match with Stone Cold, and you don't want to change that. And I really don't want to change that. But since this is what I picked, and I didn't know Stone Cold was coming back, so Edge versus Kevin Owens. This is when I thought Kevin Owens was on his way out. We thought he was leaving. His contract was coming up. He looked like he was on his way out. And so I thought, well, he can challenge Edge to a match and be like, you used to be my hero, but you let me down, blah, blah, blah. And now there's only room for one Canadian here and whatever. And you're not going to do it, so we're going to do a losers leaves WWE match. And then Edge would win and KO would be on his way out. Because, again, we all thought KO was leaving, but then he signed a new deal. And because of that, I'm actually wondering, I think I might have KO win this. I'm going to have KO win this because since KO is staying, he doesn't need the loss to Edge. This loss to Stone Cold was different. But Edge can take the loss. Edge can take the loss, and I believe he should lose since Kevin Owens isn't on his way out. So I'm picking Kevin Owens to win that match. I think they would have a phenomenal match. Obviously, what he did with Stone Cold was amazing. What he did with Roman last year was amazing. What he's doing now with Ezekiel is amazing. So Kevin Owens just all around is just an amazing performer. So I believe he would have got the best out of this. Next, I would have had Charlotte Flair taking on Shayna Baszler. I believe this is a match that we should have already gotten and didn't get. When Shayna first debuted on Monday Night Raw, she was built as this monster. And then she teamed up with Nia Jax and all that went down the drain. And how would I have her go about it? Yes, I would have had her win Elimination Chamber just as she did 2 years ago when she challenged Becky Lynch to reinvigorate that monster in her and to take down the top woman in WWE, the queen herself, to take her throne for herself. I want you to imagine it's WrestleMania and Shayna Baszler has the Carafluta clutch on Charlotte Flair, and Charlotte doesn't tap out. She doesn't tap out, but she passes out. Just imagine that visual. It's like, oh man, that's incredible, right? You can have Ronda Rousey come out after that and celebrate with her, right? And you can build toward those two for SummerSlam or something, right? But, because I believe that would be an amazing match too. But just the visual, I could clearly envision it, of Shayna Baszler just choking out Charlotte Flair and her passing out to the cool Flair Carafluta clutch. Sorry. I believe that's an amazing visual. Will WWE do it? No, because Charlotte's the golden girl. But I believe I would do it. I think that would be an amazing sight. People would be like, oh my gosh. I'm not going to say it's on the same level because it would be heel versus heel. But because people don't like Charlotte, Shayna would be the face by default. But she could be a monster face. Like, she could be dominant and still be a face. Or maybe not. I don't know. But just the visual of Charlotte Flair passing out at WrestleMania and losing the title to Shayna Baszler is an amazing, amazing look. And I think something that would have been remembered for the end of time. Speaking of the other women's championship match, I actually would have had Becky Lynch taking on Alexa Bliss at WrestleMania. Again, this is taking away nothing from Bianca Belair, because her and Becky Lynch had an amazing match at WrestleMania, had an amazing moment, but just imagine it's the Royal Rumble, which this year wasn't all that amazing, right? And we get to the number 30 spot. Remember, this is back when they were building those vignettes of Alexa Bliss coming back to normal, right? And imagine that the number 30 spot comes. So it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it's and it's Alexa Bliss, and it's the old Alexa Bliss like we got this past Monday Night on Raw. People would have been like, oh my god, it's Alexa Bliss, it's Alexa Bliss, she's back, the treatment works, she's back. And then she would have came down, she would have won the Royal Rumble, and then she challenges Becky Lynch at WrestleMania, and it comes full circle, because when SmackDown Live first became a thing, Becky Lynch lost her SmackDown Women's Championship to Alexa Bliss. So I think it just comes full circle from where they were then to now. So obviously the roles are reversed, where Becky was the heel, or Becky was the face, and Alexa was the heel. Now it's reversed. But just imagine the Becky Lynch losing to Alexa Bliss. That would have been amazing sight. Amazing sight. I don't think it would be as amazing as Shayna passing out Charlotte Flair, or Charlotte Flair passing out to Shayna Baszler. But either way, it's like amazing, right? Now, that would be an amazing sight. Next up, I would have had Riddle versus Randy Orton. Obviously, the match that we were all expecting that did not happen. But instead of it being the traditional way of Randy turning on Riddle, I would have Riddle turn on Randy. Because Randy right now is the one that has his guard down. He called Riddle his friend. He called him his friend. He said he's having fun in the ring. And the way you can build it up is you can have RK Bro on this losing streak. Riddle's constantly taking the pen. You can see Randy getting frustrated and everything. Then they can have one last shot to get the tag team titles back. But it doesn't work out. And just when you think Randy's going to turn on Riddle, Riddle's going to turn on Randy and be like, hey, Randy. Come on, Randy. Don't tell me this acts as a surprise. I mean, you used to be the apex predator. You used to be the Viper. I mean, come on. You of all people should have expected this. You shouldn't be shocked by this at all. Right? I'm going to tell you something right now. Riddle would get so much heat because of how over Randy Orton is right now and how beloved he is. But Riddle would get so much heat, bro. It would be amazing. And obviously, you have Riddle win. You can't just have him turn on Randy and have Randy win. No. You need to have Randy turn. You need to have Riddle win, beat Randy. You know. And Randy doesn't take it personal at first, you know, because he's like, yeah, you got me, kid, you got me. But he's like, nah, I've been studying you for this past year, Randy. Nah, man, it's me and you. It's me and you. I'm going to take everything you learn plus what I know, and I'm going to beat you at WrestleMania. And he does, bro. And then, oh, man, yo, you talk about nuclear heat. You talk about I hate you heat. That is I hate you heat. You remember before RK, bro, nobody liked Riddle. They thought Riddle was annoying. Take that up to the next level, bro. Have him betray Randy, bro. Oh, man. Oh man. That's amazing, bro. Let me tell you, amazing. Next up, Brock Lesnar, Bobby Lashley. It writes itself. Their match at the Royal Rumble was trash. I felt like they were holding back. And WWE probably told them to hold them back, right? But this is the match that everyone wanted. This is the match that Bobby Lashley wanted. I know he can't be satisfied with what happened in real life, because in real life it was not very good. But this is WrestleMania. You go all out. This is the better version of Goldberg and Brock from WrestleMania 20 all those years ago. Could be even a better version of Goldberg and Brock from WrestleMania, what was it, 33? Like, and that match was fun. It's a fun car crash, right? Take that, but amplify it up a little bit more, and these two, I believe, can have a very good, very fun match. But then again, it also depends on Brock, bro. Like, if Brock ain't having fun, which he has been having fun, so we should be able to get a good match out of it. I don't know. I'm hoping we will. So, yeah. Next up, going strong here, John Cena taking on Sheamus for the Intercontinental Championship. See, both John Cena and Sheamus have something in common. They have won every single championship in WWE but one, and that is the Intercontinental Championship. Neither one of them have won it. They're one title away from becoming a Grand Slam champion. I would have had, as much as Ricochet has been having a great run, I would have had Sheamus beat Ricochet for the title, be proud, that he is now a Grand Slam champion and he considers himself the greatest WWE superstar of all time. You know what? He could even have a rematch with Ricochet at WrestleMania. Well, nah. Well, he could have it before WrestleMania and be like, see, nobody can beat me. I'm the best. And then that's when you can have John Cena come out and be like, hey, that thing that you said about being a Grand Slam champion, about being the GOAT, that's me, bro. That's going to be me when I challenge you at WrestleMania. And obviously, John Cena's going to beat him at WrestleMania, and he'll become the Grand Slam champion. And he can even have it just like he did with the United States Championship a couple years ago. And he could have an open challenge every couple of weeks. I mean, if you could have the WWE and the World Universal Champion not be on TV, you can have the Intercontinental Champion not be on TV. He can show up every couple of months. Maybe that's not fair. And John Cena does love the WWE, so maybe he would vacate it after WrestleMania. But just the moment in itself of John Cena becoming a Grand Slam champion, solidifying himself as the GOAT in some people's eyes. I think, me personally, it's Taker, followed by a close Stone Cold Steve Austin. But, John Cena has done a lot for the company. Like, you can't deny that. So, anyway, down to the final three. AJ Styles taking on Finn Balor for the WWE Championship. Don't tell me you don't want to see that. So, set the stage, right? Big E, back at day one, is the WWE Champion, right? I would have AJ beat him. Have AJ beat him at the Royal Rumble, right? I would have Finn Balor win the Royal Rumble, right? These two have only had one match, and it was thrown together on a pay-per-view. I think it was TLC a couple years ago. I don't know if Roman got sick or something like that. He was either supposed to face AJ or he was supposed to face Finn, or maybe it was Bray. Bray got sick, and AJ Styles became his replacement. And I don't even remember if the match was good. It probably was good, but I don't really remember it like that, which is sad because, again, they've only had one match. So imagine this. WrestleMania, the Demon Finn Balor challenging the WWE Champion AJ Styles, hitting him with the coup de grace to win the WWE Championship. Phenomenal, pun intended. It writes itself. It's a dream match. It's what everyone wants. We've only seen it once on an unforgettable pay-per-view. So come on now. Speaking of Big E, because his reign was so short and not long enough, both in real life and in this scenario, the WWE, the power that invested with me, would give Big E a reward. And that reward would be him in a ladder match against Seth Rollins, Austin Theory, Damian Priest, and The Miz in a U.S. title ladder match. Just like John Cena, Big E, all he needs to do is win the United States Championship, and he will officially be a Grand Slam champion in the WWE. So, I know he got injured before Mania in real life, so it would be hard to do that. But since he's not in a program with Sheamus and them, and he's not on Raw, SmackDown, he's on Raw, he never gets hurt, right? He never gets hurt. So therefore, this scenario can indeed happen. Big E wins the ladder match, he's United States Champion, and he can go on a nice long run with that title. Again, he doesn't make up for it, but it kind of does. Like, you're a good WWE champion, but we had the storyline in place with AJ and Finn, but we're going to reward you with the U.S. title and you being a Grand Slam champion. So, and finally, the main event. The Tribal Chief, the head of the table, Roman Reigns, taking on Drew McIntyre for the Universal Championship. And I don't need to explain this because it's obvious. it would be Drew McIntyre winning 2 years ago. Drew McIntyre was supposed to have his moment. He was supposed to have his moment at WrestleMania, but COVID happened. So he never got that moment. He was the pandemic champion. And he did the best he could, but he never got his moment. And so, I would have him beat Roman. They would have an awesome match. It would be incredible. Drew has his moment. He closes the show, but he leaves early. Roman could be in like just utter shock. Like, here's the thing though. Here's the thing that I'm wrestling with though. Do you have The Rock come out at WrestleMania? Or do you have him... You know what? I would have him come out at that SmackDown. Because you want to let Drew enjoy his moment. You know, let the crowd go home happy, right? You want to have him enjoy his moment. So, that's what I would do. I would let Drew enjoy his moment. Celebrate. He dethroned the tribal chief, right? And then on Friday night, Roman can come out talking about how he's still the head of the table. He's got screwed. He wants his title back. I still provide for my family. I'm the head of the table, blah, blah, blah. And then you hear, if you smell. And then The Rock comes out. And just like him and John Cena, you built this thing 1 year in the making. Rock, Roman, going at it in the main event of WrestleMania in Hollywood next year at WrestleMania. Book it. Anyway, that is my WrestleMania 38 What If. If I was Vince McMahon, that is how I would have booked WrestleMania. I know this is going a little bit longer than I anticipated, but I put a lot of thought and soul into this card back when I wasn't really too sure where WrestleMania was going. And again, with Stone Cold and the way WrestleMania turned out with Cody Rhodes coming back and everything, WrestleMania was a fun show. B+. And even I'm struggling. First of all, this is my card. And I'm struggling. Like, man. Would I rather watch this WrestleMania or my WrestleMania? I personally don't know. That's how good WrestleMania this year was. But this card is good too. So, I need you guys to help me out. Let me know in the comment section down below. This is the last little bit of WrestleMania. WrestleMania is over and done with now. This is the last little bit of it. Which WrestleMania would you rather watch? The real life one or mine? I'm really looking forward to hearing your comments and your thoughts on my show. Again, let me know in the comment section. I'll be looking at it for the rest of the week, weekend, next week, the week after. I'm really curious what you guys have to think. Poured my heart and soul into this, and I just want to know what you guys think. So please remember to like this video, share it. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell notification so you never miss a video. And if you're not down with that, I've just got 2 words for you. Peace out. And I'll catch y'all in the next video.